Welcome to the SCP Foundation Classified Briefing. Today's subject, SCP-096, the Shy Guy. Please ensure you like and subscribe to our channel for more critical updates. Our initial encounter with SCP-096 occurred in Redacted. Presenting as a gaunt, humanoid entity approximately 2.3 meters tall, possessing disproportionately long limbs and a complete lack of facial features beyond empty eye sockets, and a large jaw capable of opening 4 times the norm. Its skin is a sickly pale white, leading to its early designation as the Pale Anomaly. Initial containment involves standard humanoid protocols, primarily focusing on visual obscuration due to observations of extreme distress when its face was directly viewed. It typically remains in a docile, hunched state within its unlit 5 meters by 5 meters by 5 meters airtight steel cell. However, any direct visual exposure, even through photographs or video footage, initiates an immediate, uncontrollable rage state. This response is universally triggered, regardless of distance or medium.
You must understand that this entity's primary threat mechanism is visual.
Under no circumstances is direct visual contact with SCP-96's face to be made.
Failure to comply will result in an immediate K-class scenario.
Upon exposure to its face, SCP-096 enters a state of extreme emotional distress, covering its face and emitting incoherent vocalizations, which rapidly escalate into aggressive screaming and crying. This phase typically lasts 1 to 2 minutes before it begins to sprint directly towards the individual who viewed its face, regardless of intervening obstacles, distance, or prior knowledge of the target's location. During this rage state, the anomaly demonstrates incredible physical capabilities. It possesses immense strength, easily tearing through steel and concrete, and exhibits an abnormal degree of resilience to conventional weaponry, rendering attempts to impede its pursuit largely ineffective. Its speed is phenomenal, capable of traversing vast distances in a short time frame, making escape by vehicle or aircraft exceptionally challenging once it has fixed its target. There is no known method to halt its pursuit once initiated, short of terminating the target. Containment protocols are therefore paramount to prevent any triggering event, as the consequences for anyone who perceives its face are invariably fatal. You must understand that once triggered, SCP-096 will not stop until the target is neutralized. The Mountain Incident provides the clearest, albeit tragic, documentation of SCP-96's true capabilities. A civilian photographic expedition inadvertently captured SCP-096 in a landscape shot from a considerable distance, an estimated 10 kilometers. Despite the anomaly being a mere speck, a single pixel in a low-resolution image, this was sufficient to trigger its rage state. 4 hours later, SCP-096 appeared at the expedition's camp, having traversed extreme terrain, including multiple mountain ranges and dense forest, at an unprecedented velocity. It systematically located and terminated all members of the expedition, even those who had not personally viewed the image, but were in proximity to the initial viewer. The subsequent recovery team found the landscape utterly devastated around the remains of the victims. This incident unequivocally demonstrated that distance and image quality are irrelevant variables. Any visual perception of its face, no matter how indirect or minute, will provoke its unstoppable pursuit. You must recognize that the viewing itself is the immutable trigger, not the intent or clarity. Our initial attempts at containment after the mountain incident were met with catastrophic failure and immediate casualties. Foundation recovery teams, briefed on the anomaly's general behavior, made the critical error of operating with visual observation in the field. Despite strict orders to avoid direct line of sight with any humanoid entities in the recovery zone, one operative inadvertently glanced at a low-resolution thermal image on a drone feed displaying SCP-96's face. The anomaly, previously docile, immediately triggered. It then traversed 300 kilometers in just under 90 minutes, directly to the field operations base. 3 Foundation personnel were violently dismembered, before it was temporarily incapacitated by heavy ordnance. This incident underscored the absolute necessity of advanced blind containment protocols and the extreme lethality of even an indirect, fleeting visual perception of its face. You must internalize that no protective gear, no fortified structure, and no distance will protect you once its pursuit has commenced. The designation SCP-096-1 refers to any individual who has viewed the face of SCP-096, regardless of the medium or clarity of the image. Extensive analysis of post-incident data confirms that the trigger mechanism is remarkably indiscriminate. Whether it is a direct line of sight, a photograph, a video feed, or even an artist rendering, any perception of its facial features constitutes SCP-096-1. The critical factor is merely the visual information being processed by a sentient observer. Once SCP-096-1 has been established, the anomaly immediately enters an agitated, distressed state, covering its face and emitting vocalizations. Within moments, it transitions to a rage state, beginning its unalterable pursuit of SCP-096-1. There is no known method to de-escalate this pursuit, nor is there any way to render SCP-096-1 no longer a target. Therefore, personnel involved in SCP-96's containment or recovery must adhere to strictly blind operational procedures without exception.
Incident 096-1A serves as a critical case study illustrating the indiscriminate nature of the viewing trigger. During a routine archaeological survey, a civilian photographer inadvertently captured an image of SCP-096, partially obscured and at extreme long range. The photograph, containing pixels representing SCP-96's face, was subsequently uploaded to a public image hosting site. A Foundation-monitored AI flagged the image, but not before Dr. Dan, a Foundation-adjacent historian, viewed it during his research. Despite the image's low resolution and the anomaly's extreme distance in the original shot, Dr. Dan became SCP-096-1. The anomaly, then contained in Site Classified, immediately entered its agitated state, breached containment with unprecedented force, and traversed continental distances to reach Dr. Dan, resulting in his demise and significant collateral damage. This incident unequivocally demonstrates that even a single pixel of its facial features, regardless of context or clarity, is sufficient to trigger a catastrophic pursuit. You must understand that all visual data, however fragmented, is a critical threat. Once SCP-096 enters its termination state, its physical capabilities become extreme and unprecedented. The anomaly develops an insatiable drive to reach SCP-096-1, demonstrating speeds exceeding 35 km per hour. Though its full potential is likely far greater, it will effortlessly traverse any obstacle, tearing through reinforced concrete, steel, and geological formations with immense force. All attempts to physically impede its progress have proven futile. It simply destroys or bypasses barriers, exhibiting no regard for its own physical integrity in the process. During these pursuits, it displays an unnerving intelligence in pathfinding, consistently choosing the most direct route to its target, regardless of terrain. This state continues without pause until SCP-096-1 is located and neutralized. Upon termination of the target, the anomaly will typically revert to its docile, fetal position, entering a post-incident distress state. This reversion is solely contingent upon the target's neutralization. Never underestimate its resolve or its capacity for destructive force during a pursuit. The constant threat posed by SCP-096 places a significant psychological burden on all personnel involved in its containment. The knowledge that a single, inadvertent glance, even through a monitor or a distant photograph, could trigger a continent-spanning rampage directly aimed at the viewer creates an unparalleled level of anxiety. Personnel assigned to its containment unit undergo extensive psychological evaluations and receive specialized training to manage the inherent stress of their duties. The fear of becoming SCP-096-1,
or of being indirectly responsible for exposing another, is a persistent factor. Furthermore, the audible distress it exhibits in its docile state can be profoundly unsettling, requiring psychological debriefing for those who regularly monitor it. Maintaining peak operational effectiveness under such unique pressures demands absolute adherence to protocol and unwavering mental discipline. Your psychological resilience is as critical as your adherence to containment procedures.
Due to the catastrophic potential of SCP-096's termination state, extensive research has been conducted into potential neutralization methods. Multiple attempts to terminate the anomaly while it is actively pursuing a target have been initiated, all ending in complete failure. High explosive ordnance, anti-tank weaponry, and specialized anomalous armaments have proven utterly ineffective. The anomaly displays an immediate and near-total immunity to conventional damage in this state, regenerating from grievous wounds almost instantaneously, or simply shrugging off impacts that would atomize lesser entities. Its internal biology and physiology appear to fundamentally defy conventional understanding, making direct, destructive intervention impossible with current Foundation technology. Ongoing research focuses on understanding the precise mechanism of its visual trigger and its regenerative capabilities, hoping to identify a weakness or a means to suppress its rage state without direct confrontation. Never mistake containment for control. The anomaly remains a perpetual existential threat. The critical threat posed by SCP-096 lies not in its passive state, but in the unstoppable, global-reaching rage triggered by any visual perception of its face, no matter how brief or indirect. Its unparalleled destructive capability and near-total invulnerability during a pursuit event classify it as an uncontained existential threat to global secrecy and human life should a containment breach escalate. The Foundation's primary directive concerning this anomaly is absolute, hermetic visual occlusion, and the immediate, ruthless elimination of any individual confirmed to have viewed its face, designated SCP-096-1, before it can trigger the anomaly. Understanding the precise mechanism of its rage is secondary to preventing its activation at all costs. You are now acutely aware of the profound stakes involved. Your absolute compliance with all established protocols regarding visual data, containment procedures, and reporting breaches is not merely a job requirement. It is a fundamental act of safeguarding humanity. This concludes your classified briefing on SCP-096, the Shy Guy. Stay vigilant, Foundation personnel. Dismissed.